In a long-gone world, giant marine reptiles hunted with powerful jaws and unmatched speed. They were true masters of the water, and no living thing could stand against them. Today, we step into that dangerous world to learn how these underwater giants made survival nearly impossible. Many people use the term sea dinosaurs, but most of these fierce rulers of prehistoric waters were marine reptiles, not true dinosaurs. While dinosaurs roamed on land, the oceans teemed with creatures so lethal that even modern apex predators would struggle against them. Some were sleek and fast, shaped like fish with paddle-like limbs. Others were massive lizards adapted for ambush, with jaws meant for crushing. A few resembled bizarre blends of crocodiles and serpents, equipped with endless rows of teeth. These reptiles lived during the Mesozoic era, spanning the Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous periods. They evolved different methods to dominate the seas. Certain groups, like ichthyosaurs, had streamlined bodies for swift pursuit, while mosasaurs boasted powerful tails for savage attacks. Some, such as plesiosaurs, had incredibly long necks or enormous heads that snapped shut on unsuspecting prey. Even Spinosaurus, often called a dinosaur, had features suited for hunting in water, blending land-based power with aquatic stealth. The environment they inhabited was warm and lush, with high sea levels that formed shallow inland oceans. Fish, ammonites, and other marine life abounded, fueling an arms race between predator and prey. Many of these marine reptiles developed extreme sizes, reaching lengths of 15 meters or more. That scale gave them confidence to attack almost anything in the water, from smaller reptiles to large fish. Their diets varied, but the threat they posed was always the same. If you were within range, you were a potential meal. Scientists have uncovered these creatures' remains worldwide. Excavations in chalk cliffs or desert outcrops reveal bones and teeth that speak of formidable strength. Some fossils display bite marks from larger beasts, showing the reality of constant battles. Meanwhile, footprints or trackways, where available, hint at movement along coastal areas or shallow bays. Mosasaurs were colossal aquatic lizards that became dominant during the late Cretaceous. Unlike land-based dinosaurs, these creatures evolved from earlier squamates, linking them more closely to monitor lizards and snakes. Their bodies often reached lengths of 15 meters or more, though some species reportedly stretched past 18 meters. With strong, paddle-like flippers and a tail shaped like a powerful fin, they could move through the water at surprising speeds. One iconic genus, Mosasaurus, boasted conical teeth arranged in jaws capable of locking down on fish, ammonites, and other marine reptiles. Some mosasaurs also had additional tooth rows on the roof of their mouth, helping them keep a grip on slippery prey. This terrifying arrangement left little chance for escape once something got caught. Their heads, broad and robust, supported large jaw muscles that exerted crushing pressure. They weren't just open-water hunters. Many mosasaurs likely patrolled coastlines, river estuaries, and shallow seas, ambushing creatures that ventured too close. Some scientists propose that certain mosasaurs might have scavenged large carcasses or participated in group-feeding frenzies, though direct evidence of social hunting remains limited. Even so, the presence of multiple mosasaur species in the same region suggests a complex food web where each took on slightly different prey or habitats. Fossil sites reveal fierce battles among marine giants. Mosasaur bones sometimes show deep gouges from other mosasaurs. This hints at competition over territory or disputes over meals. Their strong, flexible bodies also allowed them to pivot quickly, launching rapid surprise attacks on unsuspecting targets. And with nostrils placed on top of the skull, they could surface briefly to breathe, then vanish back into the depths. Paleontologists studying mosasaur fossils see them as a prime example of rapid evolution. Over a relatively short time, these lizards adapted from land-based ancestors to aquatic superpredators. Their limb bones transformed into flippers, and their tails gained a hydrodynamic shape. Combined with advanced lung capacity, these traits let them dive deeper and hunt longer, outlasting many marine rivals. Plesiosaurs are often recognized for their iconic shape, a wide body with flippers, plus an extremely long neck topped by a small head. This design might look odd, but it worked well for ambush attacks. By keeping their main body at a distance, they could stealthily approach prey with just their extended neck. Once close enough, they snapped their jaws shut, leaving the victim little chance to flee. Some species, like Elasmosaurus, had necks almost half their body length, adding a strange but effective feature to the ocean's food chain. In contrast, the short-necked group known as pliosaurs had giant heads and robust jaws. Liopleurodon and Kronosaurus are classic examples. These creatures could measure 9 to 13 meters in length. Their skulls alone could be up to 3 meters long, wielding teeth shaped like daggers. This was perfect for seizing large marine reptiles or big fish. Fossil evidence indicates pliosaurs generated strong bites, enough to crack armor like shells or thick bones. They used their flippers like underwater wings, propelling themselves forward in a swift, agile manner. Beyond their shapes, these groups filled a variety of roles in the Jurassic and Cretaceous oceans. Long-necked forms possibly specialized in snagging smaller or mid-sized prey. Short-necked forms targeted bigger meals, even challenging other top predators if their ranges overlapped. In some sites, fossil remains of large fish and even smaller plesiosaurs turn up inside the stomach regions of pliosaurs, reinforcing the picture of a dynamic, sometimes cannibalistic environment. Their limb structure also sets them apart. Each flipper moved with a figure-8 pattern that provided strong bursts of speed and quick turns. This made them more agile than you'd expect from such large bodies. A quick lunge from a pliosaur could finish an attack before the target even sensed danger. For humans, an encounter would be almost hopeless. A single snap from those jaws or a crushing clamp of serrated teeth spelled doom. Their fossils appear in Europe, North and South America, and other continents, indicating a global spread. Whether near shallow inland seas or deeper waters, these masters of the water thrived. Their reign ended by the close of the Cretaceous, but the bones and teeth they left behind confirm a time when long-necked ambushers and giant-skulled hunters kept the seas in constant fear. Ichthyosaurs were some of the earliest reptiles to conquer the sea, emerging not long after the Great Permian extinction. Over time, they took on a sleek fish-like form that let them zip through the water at high speeds. Their bodies often resembled modern dolphins, with dorsal fins, a tail fin, and powerful flippers for steering. This resemblance is a classic example of convergent evolution, where unrelated animals adopt similar shapes to meet similar needs. Many ichthyosaurs had enormous eyes, hinting that they might have hunted in dim or deep waters. Some fossils show sclerotic rings, bony support structures in the eye, much larger than those of similar-sized creatures. Such large eyes would give them a visual edge, spotting prey like fish, squid-like belemnites, or smaller reptiles in murky conditions. This advantage lets them approach swiftly and strike with jaws lined with sharp teeth. Sizes varied widely within the group. Early ichthyosaurs were modest, but by the Triassic or early Jurassic, forms like Spinosaurus and Shastasaurus grew to lengths nearing 15 or 20 meters. That puts them in the league of the biggest whales today. With streamlined torsos and powerful tail flukes, these giants could roam vast stretches of ocean, migrating for seasonal food supplies. They likely gave live birth, as shown by fossil finds where an adult skeleton contains tiny bones in a position consistent with unborn offspring. Their success peaked in the Jurassic. By that time, they were major predators in many marine ecosystems, effectively taking on the role of sharks or toothed whales. But competition from other marine reptiles and shifting conditions eventually saw them decline. Some specialized lines survived into the Cretaceous, but eventually vanished, overshadowed by the rise of mosasaurs and improved plesiosaurs. From a human perspective, facing a large ichthyosaur in open water would be dire. Even smaller species attacked with sudden bursts of speed. The bigger ones, with powerful jaws and swift reflexes, left minimal room for escape. Surviving such an encounter would rely on pure luck, or not being there in the first place. Their agility, combined with top-notch vision, sealed the fate of many a fleeing fish. For a land-based mammal, the odds were zero. Spinosaurus is a unique exception among these marine hunters because it straddled the line between land dinosaur and water predator. Though a true dinosaur from the theropod group, it displayed aquatic adaptations that still spark debates. Its lengthy snout resembled a crocodile's, complete with conical teeth perfect for gripping fish or other slippery prey. A large sail on its back gave it a striking silhouette. Some paleontologists suggest this sail helped with temperature regulation or display, while others propose it aided swimming. Fossil remains from North Africa indicate that Spinosaurus likely lived near rivers, deltas, or coastal regions, feeding on fish the size of cars. Its limb proportions, with shorter hind legs and robust forelimbs, suggest it could wade in shallow waters, lunging at passing schools of fish. Some reconstructions show partial webbing on its feet or hands, boosting movement in water. The tail might have also been flattened, helping it push through currents. Though overshadowed by T-Rex in popular culture, Spinosaurus was longer, potentially reaching 15 meters or more. Weight estimates vary, but it weighed multiple tons. That huge mass, combined with flexible jaws, made it deadly on land or in water. Any creature unlucky enough to wander near the water's edge could find itself dragged into the depths by a cunning ambush. It also had powerful forelimbs to claw or hold on to struggling meals. While not purely marine, its preference for aquatic hunting placed it among the top threats for anything near rivers or coastal zones. Even typical marine reptiles might have faced competition if they entered brackish water. Spinosaurus possibly adapted an amphibious lifestyle, patrolling both beaches and shallow lakes. This broad hunting ground gave it many ways to surprise victims. For humans, encountering a Spinosaurus in waist-deep water would be a nightmare. A quick lunge with that crocodile-like head or a slash from those claws would end things fast. On land, it might not outrun an athlete in a sprint, but it had the power to hold its ground if cornered. The mix of dinosaur aggression and watery stealth made Spinosaurus a monstrous presence. Its unique shape and semi-aquatic life highlight how varied and unexpected the Mesozoic era could be. During the Mesozoic, Earth's oceans expanded across large parts of the continents, creating inland seas and warm, shallow coasts. High global temperatures and elevated carbon dioxide levels fostered lush marine ecosystems, supporting vast schools of fish, cephalopods, and other life forms. This bounty provided a feast for reptiles that ventured into aquatic realms. In these waters, natural selection pushed both predators and prey toward specialized tools for survival. Many fish developed speed, camouflage, or hard shells, while marine reptiles responded with sharper teeth, stronger jaws, and better swimming techniques. In some places, coral reefs or giant mats of algae gave cover to smaller animals. Larger predators like mosasaurs or pliosaurs swam in deeper channels or near submerged cliffs, ready to ambush anything that strayed. Rivers and estuaries also became hotspots, especially for amphibious hunters such as Spinosaurus, who capitalized on life's diversity in transitional zones. These reptiles coexisted with other major groups, including ammonites, spiral-shelled cephalopods that varied widely in size. A predator strong enough to crack an ammonite shell, like some pliosaurs, could reach the top tier of oceanic food webs. Younger marine reptiles risked falling prey to mid-level predators, and many might have practiced migration or used nursery zones to protect their young. Fossil evidence of bite wounds or partial skeletons suggests that battles were frequent. Each predator tried to outcompete its rivals or adapt to a different food supply. Even single localities, such as certain chalk formations or ancient lagoon beds, show a mix of bones from multiple species, indicating they either lived in the same region or ended up in the same watery grave. Storms or changing currents may have swept carcasses together. Meanwhile, microfossils, tiny remains like plankton or algae, track shifts in climate or water chemistry that shaped these ecosystems. Rapid changes could stress species that needed stable conditions to thrive. The complexity of life at sea allowed some reptiles to reach monstrous proportions, fueled by abundant prey and few constraints. Through these interactions, the ocean was a vast battlefield. Eels, smaller sharks, or even large fish formed the backdrop. But the real terror arrived with creatures like mosasaurs or pliosaurs that overshadowed everything around them. Their success was a tribute to the dynamic, rich environment they called home. Marine reptiles earned their fearsome status through various hunting strategies. Ambush tactics let them hide behind rock outcrops or remain motionless near the seabed, waiting for an unwary fish or smaller reptile to pass. Some, like mosasaurs, used strong tails to burst forward in swift attacks. Their jaws snapped shut with conical or serrated teeth, delivering lethal force in seconds. Pliosaurs, armed with massive skulls, favored direct confrontation, biting chunks from large animals or crushing shells with unstoppable force. Speed also came into play. Ichthyosaurs, shaped like modern tuna or dolphins, chased fast-moving targets in open water. Their powerful tails propelled them at velocities that few prey could match. By the time a fish realized the threat, the ichthyosaur's jaws had already clamped down. Plesiosaurs had a subtler approach, sometimes using their elongated necks for stealth. Their main body stayed away, while the long neck reached in like a silent arm. Before the prey sensed trouble, it was gone in a swirl of water and teeth. Spinosaurus, living partly on land, combined stealth and aggression. In the shallows, it could crouch, using its crocodile-like jaws to grab fish. When it roamed onto land, smaller dinos or other creatures might become victims of its powerful arms and hooked claws. Although not entirely marine, its watery ambush potential placed it among the deadliest nearshore predators. All these reptiles displayed complex predatory behaviors. Some might rely on group tactics, though direct evidence is scarce. A few track sites and bone beds suggest that certain species might gather or feed together, but whether that indicates pack hunting or opportunistic scavenging remains unclear. Still, one fact stands firm. Once they targeted a victim, the outcome was grim. Their lethal adaptations included super strong neck muscles, flexible skull joints that let them expand their gape, and sometimes secondary rows of teeth or ridges for a better grip. Their sense organs, whether large eyes or sensitive snouts, let them navigate dim waters or spot subtle vibrations. The result was a set of ocean hunters so lethal that modern humans would fare poorly in any confrontation. If they roamed today's seas, even experienced divers would face certain doom. The Mesozoic waters were no place for any land dweller to claim survival odds. Prehistoric sea reptiles disappeared by the end of the Cretaceous, around 66 million years ago, likely wiped out by the same cataclysm that ended the reign of non-avian dinosaurs. An asteroid impact changed the climate, reduced sunlight, and disrupted marine food chains. Even apex predators stood powerless against such global upheaval. In the aftermath, new ocean life emerged over millions of years, but none quite matched the monstrous scale or lethal designs of mosasaurs, pliosaurs, or giant ichthyosaurs. Yet their fossils spark continuous research. Paleontologists use modern technology to scan skulls and vertebrae, revealing muscle attachment points and possible range of motion. Virtual simulations recreate how an elasmosaur might have pivoted its neck, or how a mosasaur lunged from below. Advances in micro-CT scanning let experts examine bone growth rings, gleaning knowledge about metabolism or growth speed. By comparing those findings with living reptiles or mammals, scientists fill gaps in our understanding of these formidable predators. Debates persist over issues like how fast they could swim, whether certain species hunted cooperatively, or how often they targeted each other. Even the majestic Spinosaurus remains a subject of intense scrutiny, with fresh bones leading to changing views on whether it swam like a crocodile or waded near the shoreline. Each year, new discoveries or re-examinations refine the image. The excitement is that any single fossil might upend old theories or open a new perspective on their daily lives. Popular culture keeps these creatures alive, from Hollywood movies featuring mosasaurs that leap out of water to documentaries that render pliosaurs in lifelike detail. Museum exhibits draw crowds, showcasing enormous skeletons that loom over visitors. Children leave with wide eyes, dreaming of giant jaws and swirling tails. For many, these ancient beasts represent a world of imagination, where an ocean could hide unstoppable threats. Their legacy endures not just in scientific halls, but also in the hearts of anyone who glances at an empty sea and wonders, what if? We have seen how these ancient sea predators ruled the deep with unmatched power. Their giant jaws, long necks, and lightning-fast strikes left no chance for prey to escape. In their time, the ocean was a place of fear and danger, where every encounter could be your last. Today, we marvel at their strength and skill, and we are grateful that these monstrous hunters no longer lurk in our waters. Their story is a reminder of nature's raw, untamed force.